So this will be another video of carving the Christmas challenge. Now this is a piece of really light wood. I showed in the last video the bag of sticks and branches and stuff that I had cut up. You let them sit in the bag and dry out as the years go by. Then when you carve it, you don't have to worry about anything cracking. So this piece is so light, but I think I'm going to carve Santa. If it turns out to be a Santa gnome, it turns out to be a Santa gnome. If it turns out to be a Santa, it turns out to be a Santa. All right, so I think I'll use this one. I showed this other one on the other video. It's a piece of Douglas fir, but I think I want to go with the larger size here. Now, the most boring part about doing these is cutting in the hat. First of all, I should get my Dremel and clean up all this wood, see if I can see any hidden cracks. Like that's a crack. That's like a pressure crack, something squished at. But I think it's going to be okay. But if it's not, that's my own problem. Now, Just Carve Rob has his formulas with his tape measure about how big the hat be, the hat, and then the face. Actually, I just seen something online that came from Woodcarvers Illustrated. I think I screenshotted the picture. But it shows you scale size, like a 1/4 inch to the waist, and then another 1/4 inch to the thing. And that's why I don't do it. But anyways, I'll show you that picture. And I'm going to set up, get ready to carve this hat. Now, I'm not going to do an undercut here yet. I'm just going to taper this hat down. Now, do you want your hat to be smaller than the body? Or do you just want your hat to be like the same, like if you make your hat smaller than the body, then you can give your thing shoulders. I don't know. Carry on and eat a cookie. So here will be a 22-minute long voiceover, and if I cough in this voiceover, excuse me now, because I'm still fighting a cold. Anyways, this is the piece of wood I started cutting it. I'm using the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. This wood, I think it's sped up 3 times the speed here. Basically, this whole video, most of the stuff sped up 3 times the speed. So unless I think it's some useful information to say, I slow it down. The biggest thing for me carving the gnomes is cutting in the hats. It takes the most work when you're using your Dremel. Actually, when you're using a chainsaw too. Just Carve Rob, my gnome hats used to kind of look like mushroom heads. And I said to we're Just Carve Rob, because he's awesome at carving the gnomes and little caricatures like this. I said, why are my mushroom hats so big and my noses don't stick that far off? He goes, the more you cut that hat back, the more you're going to be able to get your nose. That's to show you how soft the wood is. The more you cut that cap back, the further your nose is going to stick off the piece. So kind of just like wood spirits, the further you cut back your forehead and eyebrows, the more you're going to get that nose to pop off. I'm going to say I struggle making my noses like big, puffy, fat, round things for my gnomes. They always kind of look a little bit more square. But you see how much time I've spent carving that hat. Look how much I've taken it down. I'm going to redraw everything back on there again. There's the center line again. Just drawing the cap on. So yeah, when you carve around that nose, I think it's best to take your time. I'm switching to a different burr here. That Extreme Flame Burr is way too aggressive. I think this is, I'm looking for the silver one. The silver flame burr, that's the normal aggressive, the original. Now this one's plugged up. Excuse me. See, it's plugged up. That's a filing brush. Like that brush I got there has little metal things on it. That's how you clean out files. That works the best for me to clean out the plugged up burrs. I don't care if people say, oh, you're going to make your burr dull. Well, I don't care. clean your burrs how you want to clean your burrs. I think the best thing to do would be soak your burrs in some kind of chemical overnight, and next day all the stuff will be loose. So you can see there how the pot nose is really popping off. All the plugged up inside the burr would be loose. Then get a wire brush, or they say to use a brass brush, or yeah, a brass brush to clean it out. And then after it's soaked in the whatever you want to use, WD-40 or whatever, you'll be able to get the stuff out a lot easier. Oh boy, that was hard to say. So you see here again, I'm taking the cap back. What I'm doing there is taking the cap back. I did that cut, and you're going to get that will make it so I have like a kind of like a little lip there to do that white fluffy stuff, because this is going to be a Santa gnome. Excuse me, that probably sounds terrible on the video because I'm wearing my headset. Just the biggest thing for me for carving gnomes, for learning, is shaping the hat properly. You can put the arms behind the back. You can put the arms under. I haven't done behind the back yet, but just Carve Rob said it works really good. You can put your arms under the beard. You can put your arms like crossing underneath his beard, kind of like grabbing each other at both hands. So here's the mustache. Kind of how you do the Santa mustache, I guess. And then there would be the beard. So in a minute here, I'm going to talk about how you can get the beards to make it look like they're real big puffy beards. I didn't do it on this one. It would be a curving technique. But the more that you cut down behind that beard, the farther it's going to pop off the piece. See? So cut on your line. Here's a perfect example. Like, look underneath that beard all the way around. How much wood would be have taken away from that to get it to seem like it's popped off? So carve deeper, friends. That's what carve deeper means. And I'm going to show you just Carve Rob's spoon here he did. Look how deep he carved underneath that beard. So the deeper that you carve underneath that beard, the more you're going to get it to pop off. Hello, hi there, headbutts. Anyways, later. So so here's, I was just kind of in a rush when I'm always in a rush when I'm carving. There's like arms coming down, and they'll be like tucked into. It's like he's holding his own hands in the front of him. How hard was that to say? He's holding his own hands in the front of him. So I got to make sure his center line. Now this, I'll tell you, I know what it looks like it's done. He's got no shoulders. It's okay. Your gnomes don't have to have shoulders. Show me a realistic living gnome. And if it's got if it can talk and move and walk, and it's got shoulders, I'll start carving shoulders into my gnomes. How's that? And not AI. So there you go. To get the arms to stick out, carve below them deeper. Normally when I'm doing something like this, I'm jumping around left, right, trying to make everything equal. There I'm cutting the back shoulder in more, like the back shoulder blade. The shoulder blades on this. Now you see that Kutzall bit? See, I'm using the tip. It's a lot thinner, so you can carve smaller lines, then use the body to remove the wood. The more that you guys use these bits, and the more that you use that Dremel flex shaft handpiece, the more you're going to get used to it, the less. When was the last time I broke a flex shaft? I don't know. When I first started wood carving with the Dremel, I broke a lot of flex shafts, and I didn't know you can get a replaceable part for the flex shaft on the inside, so I'd throw the whole thing away and buy another one. Yeah, I bought out the Canadian Tire that's close to me. I bought out another Canadian Tire 2 towns over. I had to go get. That's when they were like $35 each. Yeah, we're talking like 3 or 4 a week. I'd break the flex shafts. I have to buy the whole unit. And then, thank the Lord, I found out that you can buy the inner flex shaft, because I carved as fast as I do now, but I just didn't know how to. I didn't know how to use the tool properly, and I didn't know how to use the bits properly. So the more that you use these tools and the bits, the better you're going to get, guaranteed. So here's kind of what it looks like. See how his front arms are tucked in there? It's got depth. It's got movement. I like it. But you see, he's got no shoulders. It doesn't matter. I just for myself, I just like to point out the things where I could, and those shoulder blades are way close to each other. But show me a live living gnome where the shoulder blades aren't too close to each other. It can talk and it has to say, "Hi, Jordy." If you can show me a real live living gnome, then I'll start carving the shoulder blades farther apart and start giving the gnomes real eyeballs. Look, that guy doesn't even have a bottom lip. I did that on purpose. Doesn't need to have a bottom lip. Bottom lip's hiding underneath his mustache. Look how far I took that hat down. So here's one, because I said that this is for the Christmas challenge. I said you could do a little elf. Here's like a gnome elf. I carved those ears in, but I don't know. They look like horns to me. We need to get Just Carve Rob to carve an elf with ears, because it's his idea. Ears be gone. Just like that. Carve deeper. That one has a little bit of rot in the center of it. It's all right. This is, what's going on here? This is a cheap Amazon wood burner. I suggest if you're going to do the little caricatures and stuff like that, get yourself one of these wood burners. It's, it will be an ace in your back pocket, if that's even a saying. Well, guess what? It is a saying. I just made it up, if it's not made up already. Yeah, so I speed it up quite a bit here. The wood burn around the hat, around the beard, around the mustache, around your arms, and all that stuff. Wood burn where you think it needs to have a wood burn. Now, this piece of wood, I forget what type of wood this is, but I'm going to carve another wood Santa spirit in that piece of Douglas fir that I showed on my last video. This one I'm going to wood burn all the beard hairs in. I probably should speed this up a little bit quicker because it's pretty boring. But so you can see there's the highlights wood burn. Now I'm going to start, I burned it underneath its bottom lip. Here I'm starting to wood burn all the little tiny hairs. This is probably the slowest way to do it, but that's how you can get the hairs to really separate from each other. I usually just use a burr, little burr, like a cylinder burr, and use the edge. And then, you can give it highlights by using Mod Podge or a clear coat, and then you can give it a black wash after, and that's how you can get the highs and low points, highs and dark brights. Oh boy, that's how you can get the bright spots and the dark spots in your carving. So I just carved this guy's mustache hairs, and that's all I really do. I really didn't care about this gnome. I just carved it to show you that your gnomes don't have to have arms. Your gnomes don't have to have legs. Your gnomes don't have to have feet. So I just kind of cut a little thing for a face. They're kind of off balanced. I just gave this piece away to a lady that's she likes my carving, so I just gave it to her. I don't know who she is, but the girl that's taken all my Christmas carvings are now gone to a craft fair for sale. I don't know who the lady is, but I said just take her because she wanted to know how much they cost. I don't know how much to charge for one of these little things. $5. It's not worth the time. I'd rather just give it away and make somebody happy. Now, this is the first one that I started carving. And all wood burns different. Like basswood burns super good. This wood burned pretty good. Not fantastic, but this wood is the super soft wood. I think just because it's super soft doesn't mean that it's going to burn better. I don't know. I'm not a wood burning expert. There I am separating the arms. And you'll see in a second here, I'll wood burn little things to make some white fluffy things, because you got to remember this is a Santa gnome. I end up wood burning his whole beard too and mustache. I don't know if I show filming it. Don't forget to make your arms round too. Burning around the feet. Man, these voiceovers aren't an easy thing to do, I tell you. Especially if you got a head injury. So here's some other ones. I don't know if I showed these already. That's what I'm talking. They're not that easy to do because I forget what I said. Here's Homie. How's that for Homie the Gnome Larry Dibs? So there's that one. There's this one. And so what I'm going to do is, I learned this from Just Carve Rob, Mod Podge them. Then the day after the Mod Podge dries, then you can paint them. That way, because Just Carve Rob waters down his paint. That way the paint won't run in the wood. The Mod Podge seals the paint from running inside the wood. But I don't really water down my paint that much, so I haven't really had a problem of the paint running in the wood. Because another thing Just Carve Rob taught me is those burn lines, like around the arms, they act like a ditch, so the paint won't travel, in most cases, won't travel through that ditch. So it's like a locking system thing. Anyways. Here's everything's Mod Podge. Now I'm going to wait till, I don't know why I threw that later out there. I'm going to wait for the Mod Podge to dry. And I believe this is the next day. Here's that fire engine raid paint. It looks pink when it's going on, but once it dries, it looks nice. It looks like a fire engine. Look how nice it looks when it's dry. It's bright red. Not too bright. Oh, I painted them. Sorry, I Mod Podged them, then I painted them. I didn't film. Same with that one too. Then here's this one. I gave him his nose a little bit of a red dry brush to make it look like his big fat nose is red. Now here I am painting the white fluffy stuff around the hat. These are all Santa gnomes. You know, I forgot when I was painting them red, I forgot that I had to paint that part white, but it's okay. You got to paint it white twice, we'll paint it white twice. But I don't think I had to. I think this is the second, that's the second gnome that I carved. That one was out of the Douglas fir, which is a pretty hard wood to carve, so that gnome took a while to do. That's the thing about carving these little caricatures. You know, they take just as long for me to carve, if not longer, to carve a wood spirit. And I get decent money for the wood spirits. Only problem is, with me carving the wood spirits, I flooded my town with them. Everybody and their daughter and son and grandkids have my wood spirits. Probably every house in Ladner has a wood spirit. So it's time to move on to new things. Just like I should probably start chainsaw carving bears. I had to cut that part of the video because I wasn't in camera. But no, you see here where I'm painting the beard. Excuse me. Now, I do mix some gray up and put some gray in there. There you go. Get a little bit of black on your brush. You can go gray a bit. But I don't know, is Santa's real beard, does it have gray in there? Doesn't matter. But so once you got this paint on here, you can give it another Mod Podge or give it some clear coat of what you want, let it dry, then give it a black wash, then the black wash, wipe off the black, and all the darks, the deeper spots of the carving will stay darker. And that's how you get a lot of movement in your piece too. So anyways, I think this is going to be the end of this video. There they are. Carve those hats deeper, everybody. Like, make them thinner. So the thinner you make those caps. Here's some basswood blocks that Rob cut me up last year on his table saw or bandsaw, I think. Here they are again. So I'm gonna take those edges off of that pennants all the way down and do some Christmas tree hangers, like those other ones lying on the table there. I don't know when I can get the time to do them, but I got to do them. And what am I doing here? Oh, just this is upgrading your little pieces. They were $15 each. Now they're 20. Yep. So just carve this thing's like a just carve Rob project, more Rob style of stuff. So that's why I watch all his videos. I love Rob's style. And then here's Ben's in the lake. Ben's studio on the lake. He's not making YouTube videos anymore. Actually, I don't even talk to him anymore. But I don't even know if he's alive or dead. He hasn't returned any of my emails. But he's the one that taught me to do these little stars, and then I turned it into my own little thing with the swirls. So don't think you're copying me if you do those swirls. Yeah, they're probably my idea, but there's lots of wizards paintings out there that have swirls on them and stuff. So I think I might be the originator of the Christmas swirls that go like that, but probably not. And anyways, like, I have to expect people copying me, and I don't mind. It shows me that people are actually watching my videos and learning something, instead of just probably sitting there drinking a beer saying how stupid this guy is. I'm allowed to call myself stupid. I don't call anybody else stupid. Nobody else calls me stupid to my face anyways, but I'm allowed to call myself stupid. Stupid is, stupid does. I just say stupid things sometimes on here. That's all. I thought the was the end of the video, but it's not. Here comes the end of the video. So that's the end of this video, everybody. So there's a tree that I did last year. I should make a little theme thing with that taller wood spirit, a story, that taller Dremel carved Santa gnome, and get a base for it, and put some lighting in that tree and do a more Christmas. See, that's why I'm doing that there. Do more of a Christmas theme thing. I didn't, that taller one, I still got that gnome, that Santa gnome. It's not gone to the craft sale because I like it. I want to keep it. And maybe I'll find some time to make that little Christmas scene. So that's all you need to do for Santa gnomes. You have to have a door behind it for the Christmas challenge, or you carve yourself a little friggin' thing, little just carve Rob's idea thing. What are those things called? Little thing, little pixel, not a pixel, a little friggin' fairy, not a fairy, a little thing with ears. I forget the name of them. Just gonna have to comment, leave the name, Rob.